Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to look at a few Nokia phones. And first up we have the Nokia E70. This is a phone released back in 2006. And just going over some specs here: 220 megahertz ARM9 processor, 64 megs of memory, and 2 megapixel camera on the back. So of course standard mid 2000 specs. And it runs Symbian, of course, which is the standard Nokia operating system. This is a pretty unique phone. I think has a pretty cool form factor. It's going over the hardware here on the exterior. So you have the power on button right here, which is kind of in a small spot. I don't know why they didn't make the on button bigger or put it, down here somewhere, but it's up there. And then we have some Nokia buttons here. They have pretty standard interface. I think the Nokia face buttons, at least, they have all the different colors and stuff that's color coded. They have all the buttons that are kind of color coded right here. So you have the menu option buttons right here. Then you have the navigational buttons and the confirm. Then you have the call and hang up buttons right here. The number pad right here. And then the 2 megapixel camera on the back, like I said. And you have what looks to be maybe used for the camera right here. Could be a camera shutter button, and nothing else on this side. So I actually heard about this phone first. If you guys remember, back in the 2000s, there was an internet blogger by the name of Maddox, who was actually quite popular back then. And I checked out his website, and I think it's still up to this day. He uses this X-Mission internet website provider. I think he's still using it. But yeah, he's kind of like a satirical writer. And once he posted on his blog about the Apple iPhone, right, which just came out at that time, was like 2007 or something. And in the article, he just says, oh, the iPhone, it's not that great because my phone can do all this and even more. And he posted about his Nokia E70, which is this phone right here. And that's the first time I saw this phone, was on Maddox's blog. And I thought, wow, this phone is cool because, like, not only does it have this candy bar form factor with this numpad if you want it to, but you can actually open it up and then there's the QWERTY keyboard. So it kind of converts like this. And I thought, wow, this is the coolest thing, right? At the time, Maddox was, kind of bragging about his phone and stuff like that. So I guess he kind of sold it to me at that time. But I didn't get this phone until just a few years ago. So we're going to take a look here. This has a really unique form factor like that. Let's see, we can turn it on. Nokia. Nokia used to be the biggest mobile phone maker in the world for a very long time, leading in sales for, well, I don't know, like 2 decades or something like that before Android and iPhone took over. So it's kind of sad that Nokia, it still exists today. It's just kind of a shell of its former self. So that's kind of sad. It still makes some pretty decent mid-level phones, I would say. They do make budget phones still. And they make like mid-level Android phones, which are still pretty decent, I think. All right, so here's the Symbian operating system. I think it's 9.1. I believe this is the contacts. Ooh, look at all these contacts. That I don't know who these people are. But apparently this guy put a lot of contacts on here and create message. Okay, so let's say I want to send this guy a message. MMS or SMS. Okay, I'll do SMS. All right, so here's where I would flip the phone over, goes into landscape mode, and I would be like, hey, oops, I guess some buttons not working that well. Buddy, it's been a while. So yeah, this has this landscape QWERTY keyboard here, which is pretty unique to this device, the way that it is designed. It's a split keyboard, so I haven't really seen many other phones with this kind of split keyboard. You also have the call and hang up buttons right on this keyboard as well, which is interesting. course, you have the numbers as well, and it is backlit as well, which is cool, just like the numpad. And yeah, you can call using this or send the message in that case, and you can even navigate this interface in this landscape mode as well, but I think I'd prefer doing that in portrait mode. Use the landscape mode mostly for writing texts and stuff. This is the camera. Okay, and it is pretty bad. Can I even see anything on this? Oh, I can. Okay, it's just really bad, that's all. Let me put a subject here. Okay, let's put this Nokia phone here. I don't know how well you guys can see. This is a camera from 2006, so it is what it is. I don't know if it could do video recording though. Can it? Oh, it can do video recording, but probably you can only record like really small clips using this device, so it's not going to be like any long length video or something. I remember phones back in the day, probably because of the limited memory inside the phone, you could only record like maybe like a few minutes of footage. That's probably it. So anyways, that was the camera, and then we have our messaging. This is our calendar, our PIM stuff right here. Anyways, this is all Symbian stuff. Symbian was a decent operating system for the time, I gotta say. It's really comparable to the Palm OS or Windows Mobile at the time. And the cool thing about Symbian is that it ran on pretty much all different levels of phones. Like Nokia had entry-level phones, budget phones, they had high-end phones. This is a business line, I believe, because it's the E series. So the N series were like the multimedia line, the E series were the business line, I guess. And Symbian ran on pretty much all of them. So it's a very consistent experience. Our file manager. We have some games here. Nope. No images, no games. Always have some wallpapers. Nope. I guess not. Okay, nothing on here. That was preloaded. What is this one? It's a clock. Our wheel time as well. Not bad. And this one is our web browser, which back in those days would probably be a WAP browser, I'm guessing. So this would be a very basic web browser that would probably only load like plain text. Right, so this really old school browser right here. Dang, look at this, moving my mouse cursor around. Oh my god. There's a reason why people didn't really use internet on their phones back then. Yeah, it's really terrible browsers. Well, that's pretty much it. I like the form factor and the design. It's pretty cool. That's pretty much it. And the QWERTY keyboard. Really cool design. The split keyboard right here. And if you want to enter a number or take a note, I guess that would be it. All right, that's the Nokia E70 from 2006. Right, the Maddox phone is what I like to refer to it, because he led me to gain some interest in this device. All right, and that's it for the E70. All right, next up in the E series, we have the Nokia E72. This one came out in 2009 and much more powerful than the E70. We have a 600 megahertz ARM11 processor, 128 megs of RAM, and we have removable storage as well with the micro SD card slot, a 5 megapixel camera on the back, and we even have a selfie camera on here this time. So it's definitely much more modern and improved. So just going over the hardware features on the outside here. As I said, there's a front-facing camera, and then you have the standard Nokia face buttons here. You have the menu buttons or the menu option buttons here. Then you have call and hang up. It's just kind of a little bit different than other Nokia devices due to the fact that this is kind of like I would say kind of a premium look here. It's got this kind of metal finish, metallic finish, which is pretty nice. Usually Nokia has the color-coded buttons here, but here we have just this all nice metallic finish. You have a home, calendar, shortcuts, right here, PIM shortcuts, I guess, navigational buttons, and center confirm button. And then we have the numpad right here embedded in the keyboard. Most of the candy bar QWERTY keyboards back then did it this way, including the BlackBerry, so not too surprising. All right, so on the side here, we have the micro SD card slot and the micro USB port for data transfer, and then we have a volume up and down, the rockers, and the middle button, which might be programmable or for muting, not sure yet. And then we have a removable battery, which is standard on phones back then, and 5 megapixel autofocus camera. Right, so we have Nokia's proprietary charger right here, which works with most Nokia devices. I think it's a small barrel charger. Then they have the lanyard slot for those cell phone charms that were popular back then. Then we have the on button and the headphone jack right there. So let's turn it on. We have the Nokia splash screen right here. We should be running Symbian 1.4, I believe. All right, so we have the menu. All right, so what do we have? Calendar, contacts, maps, office. So basics PIM stuff right here. I think you can also access this with a shortcut, right? Hold on. Yep, you can access that with a shortcut, the calendar. This is home, which is your menu, and then you have contacts right here via the shortcut, email. All right, so you have this kind of Pocket PC-like shortcut buttons down the bottom. It's cool. Oh, this is actually an optical sensor as well. So it's not, you could use the navigational buttons right here, or you can just use the optical trackpad right here, kind of like a BlackBerry. Maps. I wonder what maps it was using at the time. I remember Navigon maps were pretty popular at the time, along with, like, you know, Garmin and TomTom. Okay. GPS, it probably has GPS, right? Yeah, oh, right. Yeah, I'm not gonna connect yet, but it shouldn't need to connect to the internet if it just uses GPS. Let's see if we can find me. GMT +1. Nope, menu, nope. Maybe you can't find me. Okay, well, that's fine. That's, anyways, it has maps, office, what's this? Ooh, it has some good stuff here. Dictionary, intranet, so that's their internal internet. Quick office. This would be equivalent of Word, Excel, spreadsheets, slideshows, stuff like that. Okay. Adobe PDF for accessing your PDFs, zip. So you can definitely tell this is more like a business phone because it's the E series line, right? For doing business, so I could probably use the numpad here, do some calculations. Busy. Gotta make my numbers meet by the end of the quarter. All right, we met our numbers. All right, converter, currency converter. I wonder how this works because currency is always changing, so I assume they would have to connect to the internet to find the current currency exchange rate, right? So that's always changing. You always zip up your files and stuff like that. I wonder if I have any Adobe files to look at here. Nope. We presenter, what's this? Wireless presenter, okay. That's cool, I didn't know this existed. This is kind of like a projector thing. Huh. You can project, you can wirelessly project somewhere. That's cool. Font magnifier, active notes. What's active notes? I'll try using the keyboard. It's not bad keyboard. Oh, that's a symbol right here. Okay, so I guess that's how you enter your special symbols. Oh, here we go. Okay, you gotta press this button here. There we go, E72. Yeah, I guess it could take some getting used to, but it's not a bad keyboard for the time. I guess it's comparable to a BlackBerry keyboard, which is actually saying a lot because BlackBerry did have some of the best keyboards for phones those days. So the keyboard's not bad, pretty good. I think comparable to the BlackBerry. Then what else we have? Web browser, of course. We have the Good old WAP browsers back then. .mobi. Search for WLAN. Yeah, so nope. All right. What else do we have? Tri-panel messaging, applications, email. What's applications? YouTube. You have a MySpace application here. That really brings you back. Bloomberg, chat, Facebook, Traveler, games, GPS, PTT. I don't know what that is. Twitter. That's a really old Twitter icon. Okay, I don't know what a lot of these are landmarks. Huh. Let's try games. What's here? We have Block Cascade. We can try some of these Java games, I'm guessing. Block Cascade Fusion. Oh, it's like Tetris. Guess this is Tetris. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely playable. It's actually pretty smooth, the graphics. All right, anyways, that is Tetris. All right, yeah, that's the E72. I mean, you guys have seen Symbian before. There's tons of apps for Symbian as well, given how popular it was. What's home media? Would this be videos? Oh no, we can set up home media for streaming and sharing files. That's actually really cool. Okay, so I guess you can share files with your computer on your home network. That's really cool. Okay, you can actually do a lot of stuff here. Smart Connect. Communicator. What's chat? IM service. What would this be? Would this be ICQ or MSN or AIM? What is that? OV, I don't know what that thing is. I guess this is for stocks, right? Bloomberg. Gotta check my stock updates. Yeah. News headlines, okay. My stocks, yeah, there it is. All right, well, yeah, that's the E72, and you guys have seen a lot of the Symbian apps on here already. Solid device for business users, I guess. There is a lot of functionality on this phone. You can see like a lot of it is business focused, like the wireless presentation, sharing files on the home network and stuff like that. Pretty complicated stuff back then. They had to have a music player right here, but I don't think this would be really good for music because the N series, I think the multimedia series would be better for music, or the Express Music series. I can use the camera right here. It's my subject. Unable to access, okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is the 5 megapixel camera, which was pretty standard for the time. It's not the best, not the worst camera at the time. It is what it is. It has a few options here. Secondary, you can use a selfie camera to take selfies. Ooh, there we go, old school selfies. 2009 selfies. Oh man, I definitely didn't take many selfies back then for sure. All right, anyways, yeah, it's a Nokia E72 from 2009. Kind of a BlackBerry alternative, I suppose. That's what this device is meant to compete with, is the BlackBerry Bolds and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a decent alternative.